Greetings, everybody. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but obviously, I am watching. I am paying attention. Just wanted to bring this to your attention, and hopefully, there'll be more videos in the future here coming up shortly. But the headline says it all. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been made aware of this. This is from May 17th, so it's a few days ago, 7 days ago to be exact. But the Ring of Fire is shaking violently, massive uptick in earthquakes and volcano eruptions. Earth is becoming increasingly unstable. And obviously here's a screenshot below. You can see all of the activity within the Ring of Fire that has taken place. This is from May 9th to May 15th. Now it has increased since then. Just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on here, I'm going to read this here. That it says a screenshot below shows all of the 2.5 plus and above earthquakes that occurred between May 9th, 2015 to May 15th, 2015 surrounding the Ring of Fire, which is where about 90% of the world's earthquakes and 81% of the world's largest earthquakes occur, according to Wiki. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not only is there tremendous earthquake activity shaking the earth in these locations, but according to the Economic Collapse blog, using information obtained from Volcano Discovery, 40 volcanoes around the globe are erupting right now, and 34 of them are along the Ring of Fire. To give context to what this means, they explain there were a total of 3,542 volcanic eruptions during the entire 20th century. When you divide that number by 100, that gives you an average of about 35 volcanic eruptions per year. So the number of volcanoes that are erupting right now is well above the 20th century's average for an entire calendar year. Take you over here to this is Dutch Census webpage. May 24th, 2015, Quebec, Canada earthquake. This just happened right here in Quebec, Canada. Also, there was one that occurred in Maine on the East Coast, plus also the 5.4 that was near Las Vegas, Nevada, and a 4.7 that was in central Kansas. So we have that. And I am going to play you this video at the end of this video just to show you the increased uptick in the Ring of Fire activity and elsewhere. That's pretty amazing, actually. And for those that understand the whole earthquakes in diverse places, according to Matthew 24, and the earth groaning and travailing, this should hopefully be alarming to some of you. And then obviously the mass animal deaths, they still continue. 4 million birds now to be killed due to new outbreaks of bird flu in Nebraska, America. 85,000 antelope dead in a sudden die-off in northern Kazakhstan. Hundreds of fish die suddenly in a lake in Florida. All of these are hyperlinked. Thousands of dead fish was washed ashore in Isla Mujeres, Mexico. Large die-off of fish in a river in Nakan, Noyok province. So this stuff has not gone away. It is continuing. And here's the story about the 1/3 of endangered saiga antelope mysteriously die off in a few days, up to 85,000 dead. And they link it to possible pestilences, disease, and things of this nature. So I'm going to close this out, and then I'm going to play you this video here, and that'll be it for now. Truth be told, truth be known, stay safe, God bless, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Dutch Sense here. 1:21 a.m. Central Time on Saturday, May 23rd, 2015. And I hope you guys are having a good weekend. We're looking at Earthquake 3D here, which is the USGS feed of the most recent earthquakes. And right now, we're looking at the last 24 hours of 2.5 and greater in the United States and 4.0 and greater internationally. Now, if you live in the U.S., of course, earthquakes are on your mind today, most likely, at least indicating from the number of people contacting me about the activity that struck on the West Coast, Las Vegas, going into Southern California, what started out as a 5.4 and now downgraded to a 4.8. Regardless, the media is reporting it in the 5.0 range, struck near Las Vegas, Nevada, and this was following a steam plume event that took place over the course of 2 days. And this was documented by another video maker, Tattoo 1009. I'm going to put a video down below, a link to that, so you can go watch his whole video. But you can see it on the screen here. No doubt about it, going across the state of Nevada. Also, now on the screen here on Earthquake 3D, you can see the 4.2 that struck off the coast of Oregon early this morning, well, late last night. And that was right along that new volcanic ridge that erupts every few years whenever we see this major unrest happen internationally. Now, I want to draw your attention really quick down here to Nevada. I've got the earthquake epicenter here on the screen, and I'm backing it out here so you can just see the greater area, and we'll zoom it back in. Okay, and you're going to see a few things marked here from previous earthquakes that happened 2 years ago. And you can see these earthquakes here. I try to mark earthquakes when I see them happen in rare spots. This Cherokee copper mine that's right here. This copper mine is actually part of an old volcanic butte that's being mined, or was mined here to the east, and you can make that out here. I want to draw your attention to the earthquake epicenter and show you what resides right here. Okay. Now, you can see these cliff edges here. These cliff edges are part of a mesa complex that's actually an old undersea or underwater lava flow. And this actually was a long time ago, of course. This had formed undersea. And you can make out the top of the butte here. We can really zoom in and get a good view on this. And this really is a telltale old volcanic butte. And these steps that exist and the flows that you can see, the multiple flows, that builds up over time. And the same thing's happening right now out to sea off the shores of the axial seamount. And that's what produced that 4.2 earthquake that started this whole mess. Over on my website, I've documented this. I've done several posts showing everybody what happened last night going into today. So I'm going to put a link down below to this post here and several other posts that you can go through and see the activity that struck over the past day. The 5.4 as it happened, the 4.0 that struck over in England, and now a 7.0, or now downgraded to a 6.8 here over in Papua New Guinea. Since all this struck, a new 4.7 deep earthquake has hit in the asthenosphere at about a 250-mile depth. And if you're a viewer of mine, you know what that means. That means going forward into the future over the next few days, this spot should move again. Again, we should see some kind of movement happen here in Papua New Guinea as a result of this deep earthquake you can see raised high off the globe. This is an earthquake 3D feature that shows us the depth of the earthquakes, and the higher they are off the planet, the deeper they are into the earth. A few other events happened that I think I'd like to draw your attention to at least, and these were the areas that we were watching down here south of Japan also started moving. Philippines, 4.8, 4.7 off the coast of China, and a 5.2 right in the middle, right off the shores of Okinawa, South Japan. And that's no shock with the volcanic eruption that happened, or eruptions that happened in South Japan over the last 24 hours. As you can see on the screen here, this video is 2.5 hours long of straight eruptions like this. And that was yesterday in South Japan. Is it any wonder a 5.2 struck there? Now, we're still watching for the next 6 days in these locations, and each time we see these deep earthquakes, that lets us know areas to watch. And of course, this area to watch has already been named as our area for the next few days. Again, on the west coast, you can see the activity now. If I look over the last 48 hours, you can see all this 4.0 activity that struck up the west coast. That's no shock when you see the amount of activity that's happening in the West Pacific. And the area right in between all of this movement is the area we're watching for a larger release, and that, again, is off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia, and further south from San Diego, south into Baja California. Also, further south, Central America, Mexico City. So we still have a lot of areas named in the earthquake forecast. I'm not going to get into a new forecast here. This is more of a recap of just what's happened since I issued the forecast yesterday. So all the areas so far have started to show movement, including the East Coast. And again, that's up in Maine we saw movement, and we saw movement strike down here in Alabama, also in South Carolina. So each time we see heavy movement on the West Coast, that translates out to earthquakes on the East Coast, and that happens over and over again. Let me just go ahead and show you the earthquakes here. Okay, here's a screen cap from earlier today. So here we go, 2.3 down in Alabama, 1.7 down in South Carolina, and a 2.2 up in central Maine. And of course our large activity over here to the west, which is volcanic related. Overall, guys, I mean, to see this activity happen in just 24 hours period, even I'm sort of shocked to see that amount of movement occur. So again, the link is down below to the earthquake forecast. This is just a recap of what's happened so far. We have a few more areas to watch, again, because of the deep movement that's occurred here. Luckily, that's just nailing it down to the area we were already watching. If these were elsewhere, if you see deep earthquakes occur elsewhere, watch to the areas to the northwest of that deep movement for shallow movement. So we probably should watch the area to the northwest of here as well, which again puts us back over into Indonesia, which we're already watching to begin with, Indonesia into Philippines. So right northwest of the deep movement here would be an additional area that I might need to add to the watch list based upon this deep movement here. Otherwise, everything stands the same. Keep watch, have an earthquake plan ready, and be prepared just in case. You may never have to use it, but in times of unrest, when you start seeing earthquakes strike South England, and again that was forecast, when you start seeing earthquakes strike in Nevada near Las Vegas, it's no wonder because of the activity internationally. But you're not hearing many warnings in the media on the West Coast, which should be issued at this point in light of the activity that's already occurred. Again, 24 hours of activity, showing a lot of movement. Take it for what you will, guys. You know the drill if you live on the West Coast. It's just a time to dust off those plans. They're not going to tell you, so I will. When you see this kind of movement happening, it'll let you know if something else could be coming in your neighborhood in the near term. Let's hope I'm wrong. Just be prepared. Much love, guys.
One of the world's largest earthquakes occur, according to Wiki. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Not only is there tremendous earthquake activity shaking the earth in these locations, but according to the Economic Collapse blog, using information obtained from Volcano Discovery, 40 volcanoes around the globe are erupting right now, and 34 of them are along. And obviously, here's a screenshot below. You can see all of the activity within the Ring of Fire that has taken place. This is from May 9th to May 15th. Now, it has increased since then. Just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on here, I'm going to read this here. That it says a screenshot below shows all of the 2.5 plus and above earthquakes that occurred between May 9th, 2015 to May 15th, 2015 surrounding the Ring of Fire, which is where about 90% of the world's earthquakes and 81% the headline says it all. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been made aware of this. This is from May 17th, so it's a few days ago, 7 days ago to be exact. But the Ring of Fire is shaking violently, massive uptick in earthquakes and volcano eruptions. Earth is becoming increasingly unstable. Greetings, everybody. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but obviously I am watching, I am paying attention. Just wanted to bring this to your attention, and hopefully there'll be more videos in the future here coming up shortly. But